So I have two stories to discuss today. One is The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen, and the other one is Misty of Chincoteague, written by Margaret Henry. The Ugly Duckling, written by Hans Christian Andersen, was also illustrated by Jerry Pinkney. Throughout the book, there are several illustrations you can see depicting what's going on in the story. The Ugly Duckling was a Caldecott Award winner, which is for the most distinguished American picture book for children. So like the backstory of The Ugly Duckling, it was, all the ducklings hatched, and there was one large egg remaining in the hatch that had not hatched yet. When he hatched, everybody noticed that he wasn't as beautiful as the remaining flock. So, The Ugly Duckling is a story of a not-so-beautiful duckling. The flock rejects him, his mother wishes against his existence, and his siblings pick on him. And everybody around him puts him down. He runs away from the family that he was hatched into and begins to find a new life for himself. He meets and stays with a flock of geese. Well, that didn't work out. Then he stayed with a little old lady who had hens and a cat. That didn't work out. He didn't fit in there either. Throughout his life, he endured a lot of hardships. He was picked on, name-called, basically like pushed out of his family that he was born into. Well, towards the end of the story, he meets a flock of swans, and did he find his true identity? Did he become happy? I guess you have to read and find out. But I pulled The Ugly Duckling out of this book here, the Annotated Classic Fairy Tales that I already owned. And it begins here on page 288. There's a few pictures in this one, but not as many as like the original like actual like children's book. The other book that I opted to read was Misty of Chincoteague by Margaret Henry, and it was a Newbery Awards honor. I didn't win the Newbery Awards, but it was an honorary book. The Newbery Award is awarded for the most distinguished contribution to American literature for children. So this is what the book looks like. And you can see there's several pictures throughout it as you read on. It is based on a true story here in Virginia. It happened like an hour and a half, 2 hours from my house. So Misty of Chincoteague is based off a true story that happened here in my home state of Virginia. It occurs on the Eastern Shore, just an hour from me, back in the time of the 1940s. This book is about Pony Penning Day, which is an annual tradition, and it still takes place today, every year on the islands of Assateague and Chincoteague. This book is about Pony Penning Day, which is an annual tradition, and it discusses the capturing and taming of a wild horse, who they named Misty. When it was still wild, it was known as the Phantom, and it was basically uncapturable. Nobody could capture this horse. Even like professional people, they couldn't get their hands on her. So these two kids, Paul and Maureen, were able to capture her. But were they able to raise the money to keep her as their own? You'll have to read on and find out for yourself. However, both of these books I would highly recommend for children to read. The Ugly Duckling is a good story for parents to read to their children to offer like a life lesson to help teach kids don't pick on other people. And the Misty of Chincoteague would be basically good enough for any child to read. I think anybody would enjoy it.